Good evening, residents of Everett, Washington. I'd like to call to order the Everett City Council meeting for September 17th, 2025. For information on council meetings and how to participate, please visit everettwa.gov/citycouncil. Thank you for showing up today. I appreciate a good, warm crowd. For the record, we have Councilmember Fossey. She'll be attending remotely. Yep, and there she made it on the screen, so thank you. So with that, clerk, will you please take the roll?
Mayor Franklin.
Here.
Councilmember Bader.
Here.
Councilmember Ryan.
Here.
Councilmember Vogely.
Here.
Councilmember Fossey.
Here.
Councilmember Tui.
Here.
Vice President Zarlingo.
Excused?
President Schwab.
Here. And so at this time, I'd like, one more thing too. We're removing from the original agenda consent item number 4. We'll be moving that from consent item to action. I believe there's might be a few questions about that one. So at this time, I'd like to ask Councilmember Ryan to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yes, please stand if you're able. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great, thank you. And I'd ask Councilmember Tui to read the land acknowledgement.
Yes, definitely. The City Council wishes to acknowledge the original inhabitants of this place, the Stohubshi people and their successors, the Tulalip tribes. Since time immemorial, they have hunted, fished, gathered on, and taken care of these lands and waters. We will respect their sovereignty, their right to self-determination, and honor their sacred spiritual connection with the land and water. We will strive to be honest about our past mistakes and bring about a future that includes their people, stories, and voices to form a more just and equitable society.
Thank you. So moving to old business, is there a motion to approve the minutes for September 10th, 2025?
Councilmember Ryan so moves.
Second the motion?
Motion and second's been made. Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Bader.
Yes.
Councilmember Ryan.
Yes.
Councilmember Vogely.
Yes.
Councilmember Fossey.
Abstain.
Councilmember Tui.
Yes.
President Schwab.
Abstain. Okay, moving on to our mayor. Good evening.
Good evening, President Schwab and community. I have just a few comments this evening. First, I want to thank Councilmember Ryan for bringing the Kroger resolution forward. We had a very good partnership with Fred Meyer Store and leadership, and I'm proud of the work that our city teams have done to reduce crime and make the area safer, not only in that area throughout Everett, but specifically in that area and around the store. We work really hard to be a very business-friendly city and have a lot of close partnerships with our business community. It's been disappointing to hear the position of corporate representatives from Kroger, and I don't believe they've been upfront about their decision. I certainly received different information when I had a phone call with them. I support the resolution that's before us, and I do because it's important for Kroger and our community to hear how serious we take this issue. Our neighbors relied on this store for groceries, for daily essentials, for pharmaceutical products, and are really going to have challenges accessing all of their daily needs. So our team at the city continues to be focused on how we can support this community and what happens next in the redevelopment of that site. We want to make sure that our South Everett friends and neighbors' needs are met. For all the residents that are listening this evening, please know that if you're seeking grocery resources, remember you can go to everettwa.gov/South Stores for more information, not only on stores in the area, but also transit access to other important amenities that you can reach. And then it's National Service Dog Month. So I'm very pleased to present a proclamation for National Service Dog Month. Whereas the city of Everett believes in the joyful, transformative power of the human canine bond and the inclusivity of all community members. And Canine Companions is a nonprofit organization that enhances the lives of people with disabilities by providing expertly trained service dogs and ongoing support to ensure quality partnerships free of charge. And Canine Companions created the service dog for people with physical disabilities in 1975, creating the new kind of support for disabled individuals. and canine companions and their service dogs empower people with disabilities to lead life with greater independence. And in the US, 70 million adults have some form of disability, but only 16,000 service dogs from accredited training programs exist nationwide. And National Service Dog Month aims to educate our community about the benefits of service dogs and the law protecting their handlers. And the City of Everett continues to work towards becoming an inclusive community in which all community members and their trained service dogs are embraced. Now, therefore, be it resolved, I, Cassie Franklin, Mayor of the City of Everett, do hereby proclaim September to be National Service Dog Month and encourage all residents to celebrate service dogs and be respectful of the rights to safe access in our community afforded to the adults, children, and veterans who lead more independent lives because of the service dogs and their assistance. And I believe we have a couple representatives, Donna and Spencer from Canine Companions, to receive the proclamation. Oh, three, great. And Kitty, Kitty the second. Here's the learning. And if you want to say
Hi, everyone.
You just press the button on the base there. There we go.
In green. Hi, everyone. My name is Donna Lindsay. I am the Philanthropy and Outreach Manager for Canine Companions with our new and first and only field office in the nation in the Puget Sound. We opened in 2023, but we are a nationwide organization. What makes our Puget Sound office different is it's the first time we're trying to embed ourselves into the community. We're the first kennel-free of all of our campuses. Our dogs stay with fosters and get dropped off in the day and do their professional training. But before they get to that stage, they're with volunteers like Spencer here as a puppy raiser from about 8 weeks when they're land sharks to about a year and a half. Spencer is introducing Kitty here to the public, to public facilities, basic training, everything to get her ready for her journey to become a working dog, where she could be supporting a kid with a disability, an adult. She could be a PTSD dog for a veteran, and she could also, newly added, become a diabetic alert dog, which we just launched in August. We also have facility dogs working across Washington in many of our schools. Seattle Children's just received their first facility dog, Nash, the Golden Nash Potato on Instagram, the best Instagram account to follow. So we are celebrating our 50th anniversary year, and we're so thankful for all of our community support and thankful for you guys recognizing National Service Dog Month. So good.
Thank you.
Thank you, and no further comments this evening. It was nice to have Kitty here.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. All right, on to public comments. It's time, which includes written comment acknowledgement. Under our rules, written comments shall be considered the same as oral comments. If you want to submit a comment to council, please provide your name and city of residence to be made in the part of the official record. Good evening, Angie. Do we have any written comments?
Good evening, President Schwab. We do not have any written comments.
Okay, how about public?
We have one person online right now to speak, and then we have a few here in chambers.
Okay, are we going to speak on specific action items, or are we going to be all up front?
Some will speak on item 4 and 9.
Okay,
And should I start with online first?
thank you.
Okay, so Chris, if you could please unmute and turn your video on if you can, and there you are. If you could state your first or full name, city of residence, and you will have 3 minutes to speak when you're ready.
Excellent. My name is Chris Pepler. I live with a Bothell address in unincorporated Snohomish County. I want to say good evening. My name is Chris Pepler, and I serve as the lead pastor of South Everett Foursquare Church on Casino Road. On behalf of our congregation, I want to thank you, the City Council, for your concerns related to the immediate and consequential impact on thousands who call Casino Road home, given the upcoming closing of Fred Meyer. Our church family has been a part of the fabric of Casino Road community for 3 decades, and we've gathered at the village on Casino Road for more than half of that time. One of our primary focuses as a congregation is to continuously advocate for families who live in our community, regardless of their connection with our congregation. We believe and we know, based on relational experience, that people in our community have dreams for their futures. We know many families with young people who have hopes of becoming teachers, medical professionals, and future business owners. Some of these young adults we know, we're happy to report, are already serving in these fields. But no one is able to accomplish their dreams apart from the support of the community around them. And that comes through both through avenues of relationship and resources. And while I'm encouraged by the ever-growing number of relational resources that we have in our community, the loss of Fred Meyer is a huge blow to the resources that are available to families nearby. If I were to stand outside the village on Casino Road on any given day, I could greet hundreds of people from morning until evening passing from the apartment communities to Fred Meyer and back with groceries, school supplies, clothing, and other day-to-day needs. And along with the 30+ small businesses in Casino Square, Fred Meyer serves as part of the economic lifeblood in our neighborhood. Fred Meyer is the only one-stop shop for our families that can get what they need to within walking distance, as many of the families in our community do not own vehicles or drive. So beyond the resources needed and the employment opportunities provided by Kroger and Fred Meyer, I'm deeply concerned about the safety in our community, given the void, the empty space that will create in our neighborhood. And so I realize that it's beyond the city of Everett's ability to keep Fred Meyer open, but regardless of what happens with the store, I would just like to express on behalf of our church our ongoing desire to work with other nonprofits, businesses, and city leaders to ensure that our community has what it needs to thrive and dream. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, if we could have John, if you could unmute and turn your video on.
Can you hear me?
Yes. If you could state your full name and city of residence, you'll have 3 minutes to speak.
My name is John E. Martin, Mount Lake Terrace, Washington. My name is John, and it's time for the frog report. I've been a frog for a long time, over 60 million years. And way back in frog history, they wanted to create a luxurious frog pond with lily pads and water fountains and wonderful things to eat, so our best jumping frogs could jump in front of all the rest of us. The idea was created by the Messianic Legislative Bullfrog, or as we regular frogs call it, the MLB. The MLB told us regular frogs that if we didn't build the most luxurious frog pond, the MLB would take our best jumping frogs away and leave we regular frogs with nothing. Nothing. We regular frogs couldn't pay for the luxurious frog pond. So the MLB changed the design build plan. The MLB thought it was okay to take lots of lily pads out and take lots of water fountains out to start, because the MLB knew they could add more lily pads and water fountains later and get the money from us regular frogs later through the Messianic Legislative Bullfrog actions, and call it the Downtown Frog Pond. The regular frogs were very happy and excited to watch the elite frogs jump right up to the MLB. But the regular frogs were a lot smarter than the MLB thought. The regular frogs knew that generations and generations of frogs would have to pay for that luxurious downtown frog pond. They weren't dumb. All the frogs started singing in the streets and at hearings and during meetings. They started singing, "Some frogs are green and some frogs are brown, but we don't want no frogs downtown." My name is John, and that's the Frog Report.
Thank you. Next, we'll move to chambers. I just have one person for general comment. So if Linda could please come to the podium. And please hit the button on the mic stand and state your full name, city of residence, and you have 3 minutes to speak.
My name is Linda Warbonnet and I live in Everett, Washington. Setting aside the whole food desert crisis that has my community scrambling, I want to share some of my thoughts on the Fred Meyer closure. Words matter. When Kroger announced the closure of our neighborhood Fred Meyer, citing crime and unspecified regulations, it landed heavily on our community. Not only denies the city's progress in reducing crime, that was very apparent to me, it also fueled a divisive narrative about Southwest Everett and that many of us have been working hard to change. It's hard to reconcile Kroger's message with the reality that they posted $2.7 billion in net earnings last year. For me, Fred Meyer has been more than a store. I've been shopping there for over 20 years. When my son was 4, I asked him what he wanted to be for Halloween, and his answer was a walking Fred Meyer. I actually made that costume and it was epic. But this is how much that place has played a part in our lives. When I received an email message from Kroger that let me know the store was closing, the tone felt a little off. And I realized they forgot to thank me for my years of being loyal. Words matter. And that omission was definitely noticed. They asked me to visit their Mill Creek store, but honestly, I'm probably not going to be doing that. I've had many conversations these past weeks about the future of the Kroger property. I am the co-chair of the Westmont Holly Neighborhood Association, and it was a topic of discussion at our meeting last Saturday. We fear that property is going to be left to decline and drag down the neighborhood. And I'm here to urge the city to hold Kroger fully accountable for maintaining the site and complying with every regulation related to vacant properties. And I figured since I am here, I'd like to ask if something can be done about the Fluke parking lot, which was also a topic of conversation at our neighborhood meeting. It's a neighborhood eyesore, and surely the employees in our community deserve better, a gateway to their workplace. And as for the walking Fred Meyer costume, I actually still have it, but I'm kind of wondering if it's time to throw it in the trash.
Thank you. And then the remainder wish to speak on item 4 and 9.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, we'll move to council comments. We'll start off with Councilmember Bader.
Yes, real quick, Council President. Attended the library board last night. Probably the most interesting topic there was the coffee shop. Many of you might know that the coffee shop that had been there is closed. I think the tenant kind of basically, their release ended and hasn't moved forward. So the library board was discussing what to do next with that, whether to repurpose that space or to look at another coffee shop. They'll continue that discussion. Their strategic planning process that they were doing anyway is proceeding forward, and I don't think it has that much longer to go, and hopefully, or it will wrap up soon. So that might inform what the library might decide to do with that space. So I just wanted to pass that on. And then also had the good fortune actually to go to the Aqua Sox on Saturday night and see them win their Northwest League championships. A great event. Congratulations to them. And thanks to all the Aqua Sox brought to our city doing that. So exciting to have had that good fortune to be there, and a moment I'll remember at least for a while. So thanks.
Thank you. Councilmember Ryan.
Thank you. This week I attended the Lowell and Valley View Neighborhood Association meetings. In Lowell, Dwayne Stieg is retiring as neighborhood chair after 8 years, and he's going to be moving to the other side of the Cascades to support families. So Dwayne, if you're listening, hopefully you're taking a break from packing. But just want to thank you for your service, and the Lowell neighborhood's definitely in a good position for a new person to move into leadership. At the Valley View meeting, they're facing some similar leadership transitions. Two of their 3 leaders are looking to pass the baton and hoping for new leadership to step up or possibly merge with the neighboring neighborhood association. So I they don't have anything in the plans yet, but I did want to take this as an opportunity to to let residents know or to remind them that almost all neighborhoods have a neighborhood association. And it's a really great way to get plugged into your immediate community, to meet your neighbors, and also to just get a good pulse on what the city is doing during the course of our events. So there's a great website with all of the different meetings listed. So I would encourage folks to get involved with their local neighborhood association. Thanks.
Thank you, Councilmember Vogely.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Really glad to see you here, and can't wait to hear what you all have to say. Thank you, Linda. That was poignant. And Chris and John online. Yeah. Let's see. I did attend the Westmont Holly Neighborhood Association meeting this past weekend, and yes, we did have quite a lengthy discussion about the closure of Fred Meyer. The pending closure of Fred Meyer. And thankfully, there was also a lot of people there from groups in the community that had a lot more answers than I did. So I just want to say thank you to them for being available to have such a vibrant discussion. There was a lot of people at that meeting, and that was also really good to see. I wish that it wasn't always trauma and chaos that bring people together, but quite often that is how it works. And this is definitely traumatic. And thankfully, I have written my notes for later because you can tell that it is affecting me. Tomorrow, the Transportation Advisory Committee is meeting at 8 o'clock in the morning at the Cedar Room, unless I'm wrong, and I will look that up and somebody can tell me. But it usually is at the Cedar Room, so it will be there tomorrow at 8. Look forward to that. Westmont Holly Neighborhood Association also had a discussion a little bit about the different boards and commissions that are open right now. And if you feel like getting more involved, other than just talking about imminent closures of places that we hold dear, get on a board and commission. And we also, let's see, I went to the Vision Zero. I can't remember what it was called, but it was like a forum and discussion about how we're going to get to 0 road deaths in our city in the coming year. That was it wasn't a good time, but it was definitely a good communication. So again, look forward to hearing what you all have to say later. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Fosse.
Thank you. Not too many questions or comments tonight. I just really appreciate the public comments that we have this evening.
Thank you. Councilmember Tui.
I want to thank the speakers tonight. Appreciate all those words. And other than that, I don't have any other comments right now.
Okay, thank you. Echo what has been said already. And then I'd like to remind everybody that September 29th is our town hall forum. Do we have a time?
5:30 to 7.
Okay, and I think we're going to make this a public meeting, so we'll have to notify it. So I'd like to invite all our council members there.
Council President, is there a topic for the town hall meeting?
Yeah, I'll get to that next. Thank you. It's going to be discussion of future solutions for our city budget. And I'd like to call it the listening night because we will be having a facilitator and we really do want to hear and we do want to come up with some solutions that the community, that we can from the ground up. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It should be an interesting night. And anyone that might be watching or here in the audience, please plan on attending. Okay, so we'll move on to our administration. So Jennifer.
Yes, I can't remember if you said where, but that budget open house, financial solutions open house is at the Everett station in the Warehouser room.
Yeah, thank you for that. I forgot that part.
Monday, the 29th at 5:30. Either last week or maybe the week before, Councilmember Vogely asked about a timeline for the park restroom, lock, lights, sound project. So we're hoping to start this fall and then have everything completed in spring next year, 2026. And we'll follow up once we have a contractor secured and a more specific timeline. And that's it from me.
Okay, how about our city attorney, David Hall?
No report, no executive session. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we'll move to our consent items. We have items 1, 2, 3, and 5. So do I have a motion?
So move the consent items.
Yes.
I'll second with one clarifying question. Is item number 5 actually a consent item?
Well, that's a good question. That's how it was presented.
Oops, sorry, maybe I'm looking at an old. Oh, very sorry, Council President. I was looking at the first draft of the agenda from last week. Okay,
Okay,
my
yeah,
apologies.
so-
I'll second 1, 2, 3, and 5.
Okay. Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Bader,
Yes.
Councilmember Ryan,
Yes.
Councilmember Vogely,
Yes.
Councilmember Fosse,
Yes.
Councilmember Tui,
Yes.
President Schwab.
Yes, and we'll move, we moved forward to action items. So before we get there, we'll go to propose, and that was a yes, by the way. Did I say, okay, sorry, just making sure. Will we move to proposed action item? Council Bill 2508-48, second reading. It's been read in the record. Does council have any questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, the final reading, third and final reading will be September 24th, 2025. So now we'll go to action item and we'll start off with number 4, which was a consent item. Reject all bids received and authorize a call for bids for the Port Gardner Storage Facility Site Construction Project. Would there be able to do a report if needed, if there's any from admin?
Of course, if needed.
Okay, so we'll do a report now and then we'll,
There's no report, but Tom Hood is here and available
Okay, good.
for questions.
so we'll just open it for public comment and then we'll then have the council floor. So Angie, do we have public comment for item number 4?
Yes, if Gordon could please come to the podium. And please state your full name and city of residence. You have 3 minutes to speak.
Hi, Gordon McLaren, Missoula, Montana. And I'm the, good evening. Thanks for listening to me tonight. I'm the founder and CEO of Prospect Construction, which was one of the bidders on the Port Gamble project. Port Gamble project's about a $110 million project. We spent, according to our staff, we spent 1,300 man hours bidding the project, so over $100,000 invested in bidding the project. My hope tonight is to persuade you not to reject all bids. And instead to send it back to staff and have them do a final determination on who's the responsible lowest bidder and then make an award based on that. Staff has gave 2 reasons for why they suggested rejecting the bids. One is that the qualification specifications are ambiguous. We don't know how they're ambiguous, and maybe they'll share that tonight, how the specifications are ambiguous. They are clear to us. In fact, when we talked to Absher on site, their lead estimator used to work with our estimators out of previous employment, and we asked them how they qualified for it, and they said, well, that's up to the marketing department to figure out. So it's if the staff says there's ambiguities in the specifications and that they can't clearly determine whether Absher is qualified. Absher is $15 million low on the project. They're significantly low. If they're qualified, I suggest award the project. We're not going to protest it. We'll bow out and give the project to Absher. If Absher is not qualified, I suggest you award it to the next bidder. To reject all bids and make all the contractors go through that process again, for simply because you're not sure whether Absher is qualified is not fair to the bidding process. Everybody knows our number now. We're second bidder and the third bidder is less than 1% above us. What am I going to do at a rebid time? Am I going to guess, is he going to cut $4 million? Is he going to cut $5 million? How much money do I have to cut in order to stay low? It just turns into a bid shopping process, which I know is not your intent, but that is what in fact happens. So I'm probably over my 3 minutes, but if you were to send it back to staff, one of 4 things will happen. They'll award it to Absher and we'll step out and it'll be done. You'll have Absher, you'll enjoy $15 million savings. They'll determine Absher is not qualified and then they'll award it to the next bidder. And Absher can do one of 2 things. They can protest it or they can just step down and let the job be awarded. So that's option 1 is give it to Absher. Option 2 is award it to the next person. Absher might protest it, in which case they would have to get an injunction to stop your award. And that probably takes 2 weeks. It takes less time than it takes to rebid the project. They won't be successful The same reason we won't protest after, because we know we won't be successful. The courts grants considerable leeway to the municipalities in determining what is best for the municipality. So my history of doing this for over 40 years is that you will not be they will not be successful at removing your decision. So I'm out of time. I can comment on what will happen if you rebid it, because I've been in the industry a long time and we're very familiar with what happens in rebid if you want to ask questions with regards to that. So I appreciate you listening and look forward to hearing what you say.
Thank you.
And that concludes public comment for item 4.
Okay, on to,
Tom,
um,
want to come up?
yeah.
Good evening, Tom Hood, Public Works. David, did you want to?
I wasn't planning to, but I guess maybe to set the general context, I will just note that although we value our relationship with contractors who bid on our projects, and this is very inconvenient for bidders, it's important to remember that the purpose of the bid statutes is not to protect the contractors, but to protect the public. And our Public Works Department, with support of legal, has determined that the public interest is best served by rebidding this.
Okay, thank you, David. Just to kind of give a little background to that, to David's statement. Obviously, this is a very large, complex project. We over a 9-week bid period, we received literally hundreds of questions from contractors. We created 8 bid addenda for the bid during that time. And so, you know, this is really a testament to the size and complexity of this project. Part of the bidding documents are the experience requirements, which we call the supplemental responsibility criteria. These require the bidding company and their management staff to state essentially their qualifications and experience for the type of work that we're bidding. When the bids came in for the project, it became clear that there were some ambiguities in our language for bidder qualifications. And and we learned that basically through different bidders interpreting the experience requirements in different ways. And so staff came to the realization that the experience requirements were too ambiguous and that each bidder really had a reasonable argument for why they were qualified. And so this really does put us in a catch-22 with awarding the project. If we determine that the low bidder satisfies the qualifications and we award to the low bidder, then any other bidder can protest, litigate, and delay the project. If we decide that the low bidder is not qualified, doesn't meet the responsibility qualifications, and we award to another bidder, then the low bidder can do the same thing. They can protest, they can litigate, and that will delay the project. Unfortunately, on this project, we can't tolerate a delay because we are under an agreed order from the Department of Ecology for having this project done in a timely manner, and there's no float left in our project timeline with our agreed order. And so while I certainly appreciate Mr. McLaren's perspective and approach, this is not one of those projects that staff can go back and look at it some more. We're kind of in a position where we are strongly recommending rejection and rebid. Indeed, bidding does take time and money for contractors, but that's part of the nature of doing business. Not all contractors win all bids. And so, you know, we don't see that another round of bids that's much shorter with a project that's pretty well known now creates that big of a hardship. And like City Attorney Hall mentioned, the bid process is not for the benefit of contractors. The bid process is for the benefit of the public.
Any questions? Councilor Tui.
Yeah, I have a question. So what's the plan to remove this ambiguity that you got in your responses?
Yeah, staff has been working with our legal department pretty much constantly over the past few weeks, updating, drafting these specifications, and we've had a lot of back and forth, a lot of refinement, and they are night and day different than what they were. So they're very specific now and very clear.
And this is important enough that it's not just been the legal department, but we've been, once this problem was identified, working with outside counsel who specialize in this to make sure that the next bid includes specifications that are as clear and unambiguous as possible.
So will you have to, will they have to all redo their bids, or can they just redo this one section where they state their qualifications and experience?
Well, while we updated the qualifications criteria, we also assembled all of that information from those 8 addenda that I mentioned into kind of an upgraded, better bid package. So that'll be all part of a single bid package that goes out. The project is essentially the same. It's just been consolidated with all of those different 8 addenda into a single. So it's our intent is to go with a relatively short bid period because the project has not changed.
Councilmember Vogel?
I just want to say that what I'm hearing is that it's not the contractors and issues with them. It was us, the city of Everett, and we have figured out that we were ambiguous. And so this will be helpful for when the bids come in. And so it should be, although I am not an engineer, I imagine it will be not easy, but significantly easy probably isn't the right word, but easier to rebid and get a more accurate picture to the city. Yeah, so, and we don't get to talk, but that's how I'm seeing it. So difficult, but it was our bad and we're very sorry and we're making it better.
Any other Councilmember Ryan?
Thanks. Would reopening the bids, would that be another 9-week process? And if so, would that put us out of compliance with the Department of Ecology?
No, we're actually looking at a 2 to 3 week bid process the second time around.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I just have one question. Will there be a criteria that gives some benefit to someone that's already applied as far as strength of contract? I mean,
No,
No,
that can't be a
That can't be-
criterion.
all right.
No.
no, certainly not.
just thought I'd ask. I wanted to reward someone for doing all their work already. So, okay. Any other questions? Okay, so we have action item 4 before you.
I'll move item number 4.
Councilmember Ryan seconds.
Okay, we have motion and second. Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Bader.
Yes.
Councilmember Ryan.
Yes.
Councilmember Vogely.
Yes.
Councilmember Fosse.
Yes.
Councilmember Tui.
Yes.
President Schwab.
Yes. Okay, moving on to action item number 7. Council Bill 2508-46. Third and final reading, adopt an ordinance creating a special improvement project entitled River Point Outfalls Replacement Fund 336, Program 049.
Councilmember Bader, so moves.
Second the motion.
Okay, motion seconds made. Are there questions or comments from council? Okay, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Bader.
Yes.
Councilmember Ryan.
Yes.
Councilmember Vogely.
Yes.
Councilmember Fosse.
Yes.
Councilmember Tui.
Yes.
President Schwab.
Yes. Okay, now we're to action item number 8, Council Bill 2508-47. Third and final reading, adopt an ordinance approving the appropriations of the 2025 revised City of Everett budget and amending ordinance number 4099-25.
Councilmember Bader, so moves.
Second the motion.
Okay, motion seconds been made. Are the discussion questions? Okay, hearing none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Bader.
Yes.
Councilmember Ryan.
Yes.
Councilmember Vogely.
Yes.
Councilmember Fosse.
Yes.
Councilmember Tui.
Yes.
President Schwab.
Yes. Okay, so moving on to item number 9, a resolution of the Everett Mayor and City Council rebuking Kroger's closure of the Evergreen Way Fred Meyer and abandonment of the Casino Road community. Whereas the Kroger, the parent company of Fred Meyer, has announced the closure of several stores across the Puget Sound region, including South Everett Fred Meyer store in the Casino Road neighborhood, impacting hundreds of good union jobs and abandoning one of Everett's most diverse and working class communities. And furthermore, this closure will create a food and retail desert in the Casino Road neighborhood, depriving thousands of families of nearby walkable, affordable grocery access and dismantling an essential community anchor in the neighborhood already facing systematic inequities. And furthermore, Kroger has publicly blamed rising thefts as a reason for this closure, despite the fact that the city of Everett has invested heavily in the surrounding areas of the companies. Requests include policing, infrastructure, and community resources, which has led to a significant decrease in crime. And furthermore, the decision to close disregards collective efforts by workers, residents, and city officials who have stepped up to deliver on comments of support. And furthermore, Kroger has underfunded store operations and cut staffing, forcing workers into unsafe conditions, worsening customer experience, and undermining store stability, instead of prioritizing stock buybacks and shareholder dividends. And furthermore, Kroger has reported record profits of $2.7 billion in 2024, nearly 77% higher than in 2019, proving that decision to shuttle South Everett store is not about financial necessity, but about promising record profits over the needs of working families. And therefore, it be resolved. The Everett Mayor and the City Council declare the closure a betrayal of the community's trust and a profound setback for working families who deserve stability, food access, and respect. And furthermore, the City of Everett and the City Council stand firmly with UFCW 3000, its members, their families, and the Casino Road community, and will fight alongside them to demand accountability, fair treatment, and reinvestment. And furthermore, the Everett Mayor and the City Council recognize that thriving businesses and empowered workers are the cornerstone of a resilient neighborhoods and a strong local economy. The city remains committed to fostering an environment where both employers and employees can succeed together for a long-term stability of Everett. And furthermore, the City Council and Everett Mayor call on Kroger to recognize their obligations to the city, community, and workers, that they have supported them for many years to act decisively and promptly to allow and encourage this property to be repurposed to benefit the community. We call on Kroger to work with city, community, and labor leaders and nearby business owners to establish a productive way forward for the site and to be a real partner in the economy of Everett, a city that strongly supports several other Kroger stores. And furthermore, the Everett Mayor and City Council urge state and federal elected officials, regulatory and community partners to defend food access in working class neighborhoods and advance policies that protect workers and communities from destructive business practices. So it's been read in the record. Angie, do we have any public comment at this time?
Yes, if Tricia could please come to the podium. And they'll be followed by Luis. And if you could please hit the button on the bottom of the mic, state your full name, city of residence, and you have 3 minutes to speak.
My name is Tricia Warren and I live in Everett, Washington. Good evening. My name is Tricia Warren and I've worked at the Casino Road Fred Meyer for 12 years now, where I am an all-purpose clerk. I first want to thank Councilmember Ryan and Mayor Franklin for bringing this resolution forward, which I am here to speak. This news of our store closure was devastating to me and my coworkers. I happen to live right around the corner from the store, and with its closure, I'll now have to spend more money on gas and wear and tear on my car. My 11-year-old daughter goes to school right up the street from the store. This closure upends so many of us who have adjusted our lives around where we work. The store isn't just a place to shop, it's a part of our community. There is a senior housing nearby, and many of the residents come here not just to buy groceries, but to get out and be social every day. Parents send their kids down the street to the store, but now they will have to walk an extra mile to the Safeway. Next month was supposed to be our 50th anniversary, the very month it's closing. Over the years, our stores has raised money for the community, like the church down the street on Casino, for Horizon Elementary, and for Mukilteo School District. That community connection will be severed once the store closes, and no one else is doing that in the area at a time when our community will need more, not less. When the company tells you these closures are because of retail theft, it's hard to believe. The reality is that the retail theft at our stores has actually gone down in recent years. What we really know what is happening is corporate greed. Kroger's profits have gone up, and instead of investing in stores and workers, they've handed out billions to shareholders. They care more about Wall Street than about the communities like ours. The truth is, this decision abandons the very community that has supported this store for decades. On behalf of me and my coworkers, many of who are standing here with me tonight, and on behalf of my union, UFCW 3000, I'm asking you to pass this resolution. Think about the families, the seniors, and the hundreds of workers being displaced. Please stand with us and support this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you. Luis, if you could please come to the podium. And please state your full name and city of residence. You have 3 minutes to speak.
Luis Burbano, South Everett. Their city government. I'm Luis Burbano. I'm a resident of the Westmore Ave communities. I am a regular customer of the Fred Meyer grocery store on Casino Road. Because of its convenience, I ride my bicycle to the Fred Meyer, buy my groceries, and get some flowers for my daughter, Hannah, and my lovely wife, Anna. With the announcement of the closure of the Fred Meyer, our food, walkability, and flowers are gone. Now I will be forced to drive a car to the nearest grocery store. Gentrification is not caused by making community investments. Gentrification also happens when services are taken away from the people. In the case of South Everett, businesses such as the Walmart on 112th Street, the Rite Aid Pharmacy on Evergreen Way, and the closure of the Fred Meyer grocery store on Casino Road remove essential services to the residents of South Everett. None of these businesses were replaced, and they remain vacant. This situation contributes to the area becoming a food desert. It also affects the walkability of the area and creates a financial burden to the residents because to reach a grocery store, a car is now needed. Not to mention that hundreds of local jobs were lost. As a result, the most affected people might just simply leave. And people who can afford to drive a car will move in. To eliminate the resident displacement caused by the removal of services, the city could find replacements. But more important of all, the area needs to be developed in a way that encourages the small businesses to open and thrive. And that includes making the place safer, walkable, and inviting. As an example of this is the revitalization of Pioneer Square in Seattle by the City of Seattle and other initiatives such as Seattle Restore, which provides opportunities for small businesses. There is also the opportunity for city-owned stores that prioritize affordability by eliminating profit motives. These stores serve areas neglected by the private sector and focus on sourcing food wholesale, employing union labor, and reinvesting in local communities. Why not have a community farmers market in South Everett? These alternatives could be something the city could look into. The tools and study cases to fix the problems on Casino Road are available. The city has to use them. Thank you.
Thank you. John, if you could please come to the podium. And please state your full name and city of residence, and you have 3 minutes to speak.
Sure. John Demas. I live in the city of Everett in District 4. I've been a resident of Snohomish County for a little over 20 years. Marysville, Mukilteo, most of that in the city of Everett, Eastmont, Delta, Bayside, and now Holly. So I'm pretty familiar with Everett. And the thing is, the Fred Meyers has been a cornerstone of the community for as long as I've been here. And it's very convenient to go and I see the neighborhood and I see how integral it is to the community. And I mean, you could go back to when the Kmart closed on Evergreen Way. We lost that. Go down the street. The Big Lots closed. Well, it was an Albertsons before that. Then it became a Big Lots, and now it's nothing. The Walmart on 99. that closed. My concern is that with this loss of a grocer, a major grocer, even though there are other grocers in the community, is capacity. Is that with that major grocer gone, that's going to put that much more pressure on the smaller businesses, which if they have more traffic, they're going to have to expand. And also at the existing grocers that are left, how much stock of food items are they going to have? I mean, I also shop at the Walmart on Everett Mall Way. And if people remember, that used to be, I don't remember with a Top Food or it was a Hagen, but it was not a Walmart. They did not build that. They moved into that facility. And because of that, there were square footage requirements that wasn't a full Walmart. So my point is, when I go in there, I don't see as much quality as I do at the Walmart Linwood store or the one in Marys or any of the ones in Marysville. It's very limited. So I think there's going to be more problems than just the ones that we're seeing and we're identifying. And the thing is this is not an issue that we've got to find a solution. There's going to be a long-term solution. There's going to be a medium-term solution, but we most definitely have to find a short-term solution. Honestly, I read recently, I know New York City is looking at possibly city-owned grocery stores there. The Socialist Center of the state of Kansas actually has 2 city-owned grocery stores. I would also hope that nonprofits look at the Washington State Housing Finance Commission. They have special funding for nonprofits who want to do capital projects. So there's solutions, and I hope that the city does find some solutions to this. So with that, I thank you.
Thank you. And that concludes public comment.
Okay, so the resolution's been read in the record. We have had public comment. Would council like to make comment at this point? Councilmember Ryan.
Great. I'd be happy to. Everett's a hardworking, no-nonsense town. We're loyal, we work hard, we help our neighbors in need. We look out for each other. Everett's also a very proud union town. We're pro-worker, but we're also pro-business. It takes 2 to have the economy tango. When representatives from Fred Meyer's joined for a meeting to share that they needed help, the city responded. Mayor Franklin directed a massive amount of resources to this area, and the numbers show resoundingly that it was a success. Kroger asked for help, and Everett stepped up in a big way. That's why it's especially disappointing to hear Kroger share publicly that the reason for their departure is growing crime, because numbers are showing a completely different trend, and numbers don't lie. I drafted this resolution for council to consider because I believe that we have a responsibility to stand up for the workers and the communities that will bear the brunt of this closure, to let them know that we will fight for them, for the people. This closure will result in a food and retail desert in this area, and workers will be displaced and lose seniority if moved to another store. I'm worried about what's next for this community and for all of Everett. I drafted this resolution for council to consider because it's important to me that residents of Everett and the broader region knows that Everett stepped up. And in the spirit of collaboration and responsiveness, we delivered on public safety improvements. Insinuations otherwise continues to feed into an antiquated reputation of Everett, of a lawlessness and decay, and that's not Everett. The initial draft that was provided to council for input, and I wanted to extend a thank you to Council Vice President Zarlingo for providing edits that would help to get to a yes vote. And I also want to thank Mayor Franklin for signing on to the resolution as well. I know how hard the mayor has worked to support Kroger and to strategize on redistributing staff and resources to support this Fred Meyer location and the surrounding community. And the numbers show just how effective these efforts have been. And that's what government should do, work together to find a path forward. Running a business is hard. There's no doubt about it. I'm the daughter of a small business owner who operated his own small business for 18 years. He was held up by a gun twice and a knife once. He had a car ram through the front door of the business and steal a bunch of his stock. Sometimes we got our school clothes at JCPenney's. In other years, we got him at Value Village. Eventually, he was bought out by Albertsons, but while my dad's small business no way compares to a Kroger, I'm well aware of what it means to have hard work honored and respected, and that a hard day's work deserves a fair day's pay. Though we have heard that the closure will proceed as planned, I call on Kroger to make good on their promise that they intend to continue to support local community initiatives and programs, and that they remain committed to working with the city. They have also committed to us that they're willing to work together in support of Washington communities and finding solutions that benefit everyone. I ask that they make true to these promises. I know that Everett is committed as well, even with these latest developments. I also want to call out a sentence in the resolution that really deserves highlighting. It's an important ad that Councilmember Zarlingo had, and a reminder that there's still an opportunity for a positive outcome. It reads that we call on Kroger to work with city, community, and labor leaders and nearby business owners to establish a productive way forward for the site and to be a real partner in the economy of Everett, a city that strongly supports several other Kroger stores. Also looking forward, as chair of the Parks and Built Environment Committee, I've asked our committee to expand our work addressing storefront vacancies downtown to include policy measures that address prolonged vacancies of large retail stores across the whole city. And we'd love to, we'll also have an update at our next committee meeting from staff and administration about initial ideas for support for this community. And I look forward to working on this together. Everett is pro-worker, Everett is pro-business, and we have the receipts to prove it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Vogely.
I'm still going to read what I wrote. And I want to preface it with, I've often been called somewhat of a Pollyanna, and I think that these words are going to be somewhat Pollyannish. And even year after year after year of being stepped on and thrown under the bus, I'm still a Pollyanna. And I really hate that Kroger is doing this. So here I go. The Kroger Company 2024 fourth quarter report states by interim CFO Todd Foley, investments made to diversify our business have added more ways for Kroger to drive sustainable future growth. With our strengthened balance sheet, we plan to continue to invest in our business through new store growth, grow our dividend subject to board approval, and return excess cash to our shareholders, consistent with our long-term growth expectation. And from the 2024 fourth quarter report, I quote, "At the Kroger Company, we are dedicated to our purpose, to feed the human spirit," trademark, serving America through food inspiration and uplift, and creating hashtag zero hunger, zero waste communities, end quote. TJ Burkle, head of government affairs for Fred Meyer and QFC, stated in an email to council that they have clearly offered a position of employment to every impacted associate at one of their other locations. While that may sound nice, we know that the Kroger Company is closing a number of their stores, and more than that, our neighbors depend on the Casino Road location for a multitude of reasons, many we have heard of tonight. We could be here today celebrating a company that has stuck with the people of Everett through thick and thin for the past 50 years. We could be celebrating a company that takes justice into consideration when making decisions that affect entire neighborhoods, entire cities of people. We could be celebrating a large corporation that made the difficult decision to accept unions into their work plan, allowing a community to continue to thrive in this ever-expanding environment of rising grocery, gas, and housing prices. We could be celebrating. Instead, Kroger has chosen profit over people. It is not a new tactic. We see it in hospital and healthcare situations, insurance of every kind, cell phone design and manufacturing, and of course, grocery stores and goods distribution companies. In these times of escalating uncertainty, the Kroger Company could have taken positive action. They still can. Costs on tangible items are rising quickly due to tariffs. Other countries are refusing to ship to the United States. Farm workers, battery builders, and teachers are being arrested, disappeared, and deported by ICE. Healthcare costs are skyrocketing, and yet crime at the Fred Meyer on Casino Road has decreased. The city of Everett, in good faith, poured resources into the Casino Road Fred Meyer to help achieve that lowered crime rate. Yet Kroger disregards and blatantly lies about their reasons for shuttering a community hub. The Kroger Company CEO and board members still have the option of taking a positive step forward at the Casino Road Fred Meyer. They still have the power to turn this travesty of a business decision into hope for the future. They could take the stories and data shared here tonight and all over the region and do the right thing for the people they say they support, associates and customers alike. Humanity. Hashtag zero hunger, zero waste. Remember that with risk comes reward, and with great power comes great responsibility. Remember that light rail is coming, and don't you want to be here for that? While Kroger's ability to achieve their goals may also be affected by their ability to manage the factors identified in their fourth quarter report, I remain curious. How do Kroger's board members, Clyde Moore, Ronald Sargent, Ann Gates, W. McMullen, Nora Offerter, Mark Sutton, Ashok Vimuri, Karen Hogwet, Kevin Brown, and Judith Amanda Suri Knox want to be remembered? Kroger Company, how do you want to be remembered? Because you will be remembered. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Fosse.
Thank you, President Schwab. I don't know what I can add to say more that our eloquent public speakers that came to share today, and Councilmember Vogely and especially Councilmember Ryan has already shared. I really just want to say thank you for everybody speaking their truths, come and explaining how much this means to their livelihoods and our communities. And thank you especially to Councilmember Ryan for bringing this forward. And also Mayor Franklin for all the work that you've done to try to help along the way. It's a frustrating situation, and it's very, very disappointing. And as a former grocery worker and somebody who now lives in a food desert, thank you for bringing this forward. I'm sorry that we have to do it, but this is what the times are coming to. So thanks everyone for being here.
Councilmember Tui, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for everyone who came to this evening to speak about this. The thing, and they said a lot of great things, but the one thing that I feel blindsided by, and I believe we all do in this room, was what seemed like an abrupt decision and a surprise. And I believe we really should have had time to work with Kroger on their exit plan, and then time to come up with a retail alternative well before they closed. That didn't happen. And as a result, we're going to have to scramble to try to figure out this need that we have there. And it could take months. And I don't think some people have months. I do support business and retail. I've been in the retail business for most of my career life. And we've seen them change, retail change and evolves, and we have to accept some of that. But we have to ensure the basic needs are available to all of our community members. And I feel badly that we don't have anything lined up for them at this point. And so we're going to have to scramble to get that done. But as the resolution states, and we hope that Kroger will work with the city and our community and labor leaders and nearby business owners to work together to move forward a plan to resolve on this food and retail desert. Thank you.
A lot has been said tonight, and I appreciate it, both from the from our membership, from our board and from
President-
our, yeah,
President
I'm
Schwab, I'm not
sorry.
sure if you wanted back cleanup or not. I mean,
Yeah, I'll do cleanup. Go ahead.
Okay,
Thank you,
gotcha.
Councilmember Bader.
Thanks. So well, I agree with many of the sentiments expressed in this resolution, and I'm deeply disappointed in Fred Meyer Kroger and really don't trust them. I really believe it's probably likely a changing retail environment, as one of the speakers mentioned how many stores have closed in this changing retail environment. And I know as we've regularly had to deal with the riverfront development, continuing to postpone retail and other things we thought would come down there. We didn't criticize those stores for, I think, just as abruptly closing. I think it's almost black letter law in our system, in our government, that absent some other legal obligation, the corporations owe their duty to their shareholders, not to customers, not to employees, not to community. That may be unfortunate, but that's our system. So given that, I will be voting no, and I'm not going to second guess this decision, even if I don't believe it, understand it, and I'm deeply disappointed by it. So thank you, Council President.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for letting me do the cleanup. A lot's been said tonight. There's just a couple of things I want to specifically just bring up. One is this idea about organized retail theft. This is not a new challenge in our country, or specifically here in the West Coast. As part of the Snohomish County Cities and Towns, I believe the mayor and our administrator Jennifer Gregerson there, this was last year, presentation was given to us by the National Retail Organization. And matter of fact, we involved EPD. Thank you, Chief, for bringing staff to speak on that. So this isn't an issue that us as city has not been a part of. Of course, this closing has been abrupt and a shock, because we asked the National Retail Organization, who had direct contacts with Kroger, what can we do specifically to be different, to encourage these types of stores from closing? And they gave us two things: pass the buffer zone, and also do concentration of retail theft, shoplifting, concentration force. So, Chief, what do we call that? You have a name for it? Blitzes, yes. And so we accomplished that, and very effectively. Thank you, the mayor, the chief, and all the council support. And it wasn't without debate, because we are all concerned about, of course, those that might be targeted, but we were specifically targeting this organized retail crime. There wasn't another list of items, and then, like Councilmember Tui brought up, and others, Everett, we consider ourselves a very pro-business. I mean, we need these types of businesses in our city, and we just weren't given the opportunity to participate in the decision or come up with some other things that we as a city, obviously, as it was brought up, they are a corporation, they have a right to do whatever they want, but this is a city here, and a mayor's office and a police staff, that we're willing to execute on the things and do our role. And I think we've done everything we have, and I'm really disappointed that this abrupt change. I would say Everett is different, as we all know here in our community. We do support our businesses. We do have a lower B&O tax than other cities. We are a strong labor supported group. And it's disappointing to know that in a bigger scene that they're not bargaining in good faith with our bargaining units. And that's also disappointing. So there just seems to be, I don't want to make assumptions, but there seems to be too many other coincidences that were brought up here that brings to my suspicion on their motives. One other thing too, and this is, I guess, a lesson for all of us, and that is we are dependent on this partnership with the owners of these grocery stores. And they're very important to our community and to our workforce. So my message to Kroger and any other corporation, if you want to spend a moment, if you even know wherever it is, that we are willing to work with you to maintain the services that you can provide here to our city and those that live here. So we'll be in that. Thank you very much. Mayor, did you want to make one last?
Yeah, I shared it at the beginning, but I also just want to thank all the council members for their comments. I do want to say one small difference between this closure and previous closures is that to Councilmember Bader's point, which I appreciate, other stores just close. And that's where I believe that we had that really good, strong partnership with Kroger's because they approached us a few years ago and said, we need help. We're experiencing increasing shoplifting and issues at our store, and we need your partnership. Rite Aid didn't ask for that. Walmart didn't ask for that. Any other, big lots or the other ones that were mentioned didn't ask for that. Kroger did, and we stepped up. And I really want to thank our police chief and the entire department because it kind of felt like a slap in the face for their efforts and the incredible work that police and community development put forward to protect the store when they asked for that partnership. So one small difference between the other closures is that those were all abrupt and they, took us by surprise. This one, we did everything we could to keep it from happening, and they still decided to leave, regardless of the success of those efforts.
Okay, thank you for everybody's comments tonight. And so we have action item number 9, adopt the resolution. Do I hear a motion?
Councilmember Ryan so moves.
Second.
Okay, motion and seconds been made. Clerk, please take the roll.
Mayor Franklin,
Yes, I forget I get a vote.
Councilmember Bader,
No.
Councilmember Ryan,
Yes.
Councilmember Vogely,
Yes.
Councilmember Fosse,
Yes.
Councilmember Tui,
Yes.
President Schwab.
Yes, and with no further business, meeting's adjourned.